Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pucking Around Podcast, episode 102. And in today's episode, we'll actually be breaking down the trade deadline. Guys, listen, fans everywhere, it was kind of a dud deadline. But you know what? There are still a few moves to talk about, a few things happen. Winners, losers, we'll predict. And was there a power shift in the NHL post deadline? So we'll see. And here to help me out beneath me is my co-host from the Flyer Gonna Flyer podcast, Alex Burnett. What's up, Alex?
How you doing, Eric? How you doing? I like the hype up. You're getting better at it.
Thank you. And to my right is
Your
the
left on
veteran
screen.
of Don't Puck with Media. It is Rick Seligman. What's up, Rick?
What about my podcast? Jeez,
Oh, bro.
Abnormals.
From
How
the Abnormals podcast.
That's better. That's much better. Not much. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Everybody doing good. Yeah. Post deadline.
Yeah, not
Still asleep from the deadline. That was a wickedly, I don't know, boring deadline. Dud of a deadline.
Putting it lightly.
Yeah. Oh man.
It was the quietest deadline. I think that was the quietest deadline I've ever covered.
It's honestly, I think we've had some like pretty quiet ones like in the recent past, but this one doesn't compare. Like this one was sleepy time, sleepy sloth. Like just like like nothing happening, very slow.
No,
But,
it was more like everything's too expensive. We're not buying.
Yeah, that and couple that in with and as something that I was really pissed about in the new CBA, and even Friedman said it on his episode after the deadline on 32 Thoughts. The double retention, the not being able to double retain, really also set certain things back, and so I don't know. It could be a bunch of things. It could be like, look, not a lot of UFAs were out there. A lot of the good UFAs were on contenders, so they're not available. A lot of guys with term, teams like St. Louis putting up big numbers, a big price tag. So, a lot of that could have very well factored into a lot of what happened. So, I'll ask you guys, like, obviously, like we all thought it was a dud, but I guess Alex, I'll start with you. Like, what do you think? I'm gonna ask you this: which one trade do you think impacted the most?
Impacted the most is in the entire deadline or on deadline day?
Let's put this in the last 3 days, like the Wednesday, the Thursday, and the Friday, because we did see some notables. Kadri did end up moving. What's his name? John Carlson ended up moving. So is there one trade that, or I'll even phrase it differently, is there one trade that kind of surprised you?
Well, I think the John Carlson one definitely is the first thing that comes to mind. I didn't expect him to get moved nonetheless at 1 a.m. I woke up seeing that happen. That really, really surprised me. Colton Parayko even too at the time. I knew the Blues were going to be sellers, but I didn't know that they were adamant trying to move him. I like the names we were hearing with the Blues: Robert Thomas, that Braden Shen, Justin Falk. Those are the guys that we were hearing. But Parayko's been not their captain, but one of their longest tenured guys. I think he's an alternate captain for quite some time. So when he was about to be moved before not waiving his NMC, which I also think is a big reason why a lot of these trades didn't happen, was because of all the trade protection that a lot of these guys were trying to potentially move. Robert Thomas being one of them as well. That was the big name out there. But with that being said, I think that was a big reason why a lot of these moves were happening as well. Other trades that really kind of surprised me a bit, I didn't think, I'll go with our trade. I didn't think Bobby Brink was going to get moved for David Juracek. That kind of caught me off guard. I thought, I knew they were trying to sell Brink, but I didn't expect Juracek to be the guy that they would try to potentially get in return. That one was one that really caught me a little bit. But we didn't get much noise until like the last 2-3 days before the deadline. And even then, it was like in spurts. We would get one here, one there. I thought the Tyler Myers trade kind of set the market a little bit for the right-handed defenseman, him getting a second rounder. So I thought they were going to beat things a little bit. And maybe that kind of scared a few teams away in terms of price. Big reason why Ristolainen may not have moved. Big reason why it took Justin Fox so long to get moved. Just a collective whole. But then you had there was one other really big trade that happened the same day as Myers. I'm blanking on. Oh, the Nicholas Watt trade. That was probably the worst value trade. I think the fact that you got a first and a fifth for a guy who had 20 points at the time, I think Colorado grossly overpaid. And I do think that maybe made teams wean away a little bit, especially in the forward market, because we didn't see too many forwards move until the last moment. It felt like in the last hour of trade deadline day. So when you look at that as well, I think that kind of just set the tone that prices are going to be astronomical. We may need to chill out a little bit. So those are really the trades that come to mind that really set the tone and made things a little gun shy throughout the league after the fact, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like there was a few trades that I was like, really, that much for him? Like Michael McCarron for me was a fresh. Like, no, look, it's a second round pick. Like, but still a second round pick for Michael McCarron. Like, I'm sorry, the guy's just like a fourth liner. No, he does bring size and physicality, but at the same time, I'm like, you had to pay a second for that. One guy that I was a bit surprised that got moved, but then again, I shouldn't really be surprised. But like Mackenzie Weegar being moved, I really didn't expect that one. And he went for 3 second-round picks, all in the same year. Prospect Jonathan Castagna and like Olimata, I guess, got to send somebody back. But yeah, that one a little bit caught me by surprise, and him too. He had to waive his no move. That's like, I guess, was a very big theme of the deadline this year, was like no move clauses having to be waived. Like same thing with Shen. Shen had to waive. A couple other guys off the top of my head, I can't remember right now. But yeah, no, there was a few overpays, but you know what? At the end of the day, like it's the deadline. That's what some teams get stupid. You know, other teams like are a little bit more controlled. But Rick, was there any moves that caught you a little bit off guard?
Nope. I'm going to be as boring as the goddamn deadline was. There's nothing there. I mean, there's no really big names, no needle movers, in my opinion. Nothing. It was just, for me, no. I mean, even the Carlson trade may be a little surprising, but then again, not really, considering age and all that. And he wanted a 4-year extension, which they didn't want to give him. But I mean, there's no blockbuster, no huge name. Usually every year there's somebody big that moves, and it just didn't happen this year. So no, and I just reviewed the last 3 days. Like while you guys were talking, I'm looking at the names. Nothing. I mean, nothing big. Teams short up, holes maybe in their lineups, but it's mostly bottom 6 or bottom pairing guys, in my opinion, or older defensemen. It's just that nothing really big happened. So yeah, no, I'm nothing surprising and nothing exciting in my mind. Oh no, wait now. The Braden Shen trade. No, listen, St. Louis got the big player there, Jonathan Drouin. Okay, I'm joking, guys. You're supposed to laugh at
me. Oh yeah, Jonathan Drouin. You know what's funny? He scored his debut there. Maybe you're onto something.
Maybe I'm onto something. Yeah. No, but seriously, it was just really boring, and I didn't find in the time frame we're talking about, and I didn't look at the other ones, but I don't even think go back a few days before that. Again, it really did any real needle movers move. Maybe Kadri. I mean, Kadri has a chance to help the Avs, so that one of the last deals, and maybe that was the big one. Not surprised though that it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and talk about scoring on your debut, but he did have Kadri had an assist, a primary assist actually in his first game with the Avs, and actually so did Nick Roy. Nick Roy actually had a goal, so the guy's actually starting to pay some dividends, and so yeah, so okay, so now I guess we'll shift to like winners and losers, right? So now the deadline's over. Um, is there a team, Alex, that you think that really came out like gang, but like that did really well that to really improve their team this deadline?
Oh, improve their team. I was going to
Oh, I
say a
mean,
team.
okay, well, who won the deadline, quote unquote? You know,
St. Louis
because
Blues. No
Yeah.
question about it. St. Louis Blues is
Okay.
my big winner. I think they had a phenomenal deadline in terms of getting value for their guys and keeping I won't say a core, but keeping a strong foundation where they don't have to go a full rebuild and can still bring in a lot of draft capital. Look at their two big trades. The Justin Falk trade. You got a first and a third round pick from the Detroit Red Wings from him. Detroit is starting to free fall a little bit. That could be in the high teens potentially if you watch that.
No.
And then the Braden Shen trade. But they got a first and third, I think, from him as well.
A conditional first, and what's the condition?
I think they have to choose between this year and next year to give them the pick.
Yeah, it doesn't say what the condition is.
Yeah,
I believe that's the condition. It's either this year or next year, and the Islanders choose which year to give them.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Still first round pick.
I believe that's what it is. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what the condition is.
Still a first round pick, and and they're a rebuilding team. They're going to need it the year after as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love what St. Louis did. I think they gained some real good assets. They still have their 1C Robert Thomas, which could be moved if they really do want to go full scale rebuild. You already saw what they got for those two players alone. Doug Armstrong is doing a fantastic job here. And if that Parayko trade happened, we know of at least a first in Merca. From what I was hearing, the Buffalo Sabres were going to be giving up half of their AHL team, kind of exaggerating on that, but a lot of good talent within their prospect pool to really make that trade completed for Parayko. So, looking at it, the Sabres are going for it. For a team that was buying that one, I don't know how many teams really make such really significant splashes. Anything comes to mind? Maybe the Kings, because they got Panarin at the cost that they did right before.
Yeah, but wait, they got him before the Olympic break. That we're not counting that. Really.
Yeah, so we can't count that. Then
they basically the Kings basically traded, got a second for for Perry. They traded Perry for a second, and then just basically, but also traded a second for Warren Fogle. Or not a second for Warren Fogle. Sorry. So I don't know. They did a couple like little tweaks here and there. The Kings,
but they didn't replace Fiala.
No.
You can say Panarin did, but that wasn't their plan. They were right, obviously. So they didn't really.
They got Lawton for the second. Well,
they got Lawton, and they picked up. I'll give you a team, Minnesota. I think Minnesota did good. They added Foligno. They added Nick Foligno. They added Bobby Brink. And I think they did a good job actually adding to that forward core. When they had the Quinn Hughes trade, they didn't really get anything too much down the. Well, Foligno's a center, but they didn't have too much. They moved him to the wing.
Well, he could play. He could play wing also.
Yeah, so he's more of a hybrid center. But you have Foligno, who can play down the middle. Obviously, it's not a top-end center, especially at his age. You have a Bobby Brink, who can play third-line minutes on the wing. I think adding those two guys, they had one other acquisition, I thought, too.
Michael McCarron.
McCarron, yeah. So they added in some decent pieces. So you know what? If I had to give a buyer that, and I don't think they really got hosed in any of these deals. They didn't give up too much. Maybe Jiricek, Brink. That would look like a more of a reclamation project, although they gave up a lot for Jiricek originally. But overall, just this year alone, I think Minnesota did pretty good in adding to their team. So I'd say the Minnesota Wild are my buyer winner.
Okay, Rick, who's your deadline winner?
I think I agree that St. Louis probably, I mean, not a playoff team, but I think they probably did the best because like nobody got any needle movers really, right? So it's like the winner kind of got a lot of good bargain basement kind of things, I think Buffalo may have done really well, but also the guys they got may not really be much help to them, but we'll see. But so other than that, I really kind of agree with Alex. I think Minnesota did okay, but I mean, again, nothing big there. Like none of the names are big.
Yeah.
None of that, I guess I'm disappointed in that. So, but yeah, I'm going to echo Alex because that's really it. Nobody else did anything big. No other teams went in and made 3-4 different trades, except these guys. So that's where I'm at.
Sure. 100%. Honestly, I have to agree. Also, like I like a few things that Minnesota did, like adding around the edges, like picking up some a little extra firepower, a little extra grit to their team.
Yeah.
And like I said too, St. Louis just adding everything that they were able to add by trading Shen and by trading Falk. Great acquisitions for them. Yeah, like honestly, even
I mean, other teams got pieces that would help them, but it's like they got one, so it's nothing to really write home about. That's what happened. So
yeah, what I guess you could kind of say Colorado because at the end of the day they did get Kadri.
Yeah, Kadri will help them. There's no doubt.
Oh yeah, the Kadri trade. Yeah, that too. I guess I was thinking the Nicholas Waugh acquisition.
Yeah. Look, they did overpay for Waugh. Like, granted, like, but then like they did end up getting Kadri. So it's like now like look, you got to face McKinnon, Brock Nelson, Nazem Kadri, and Nick Waugh, like 1, 2, 3, 4 down the middle. Like that's pretty decent. Like, and you can always like move like one of them to wing, and then because you still have Jack Drury on available, so I guess he would move to like a wing spot. But like Colorado did get better. You can't say they didn't get better. Yeah. So yeah, and like I like what Anaheim did adding Carlson, but like again, that was the only move they made. Like they made that one move,
But you know what though? And I'm glad you mentioned that. That's an important move for them because that's an experienced veteran that they kind of need that. Yeah. That'll really help them like when in the playoffs, So,
and especially in their division. Their division is wide open.
It's wide open, so yeah. It's a good move. But again, that's the only thing they did, right? And so they did one, but some years you got a bunch of teams, they made a bunch of moves and this year they're just not. It didn't happen.
Yeah. So the inactivity. Okay, so that you would think so that might. Who's a loser then? Who do you think lost it? Like who like?
I got a few teams that come to mind.
We were the losers.
Yeah, first of all, the fans are the biggest losers. They treated the shit for 5 hours.
Yeah,
and had fucking like 6 trades.
Yeah, exactly. We were the losers.
Oh. For teams, I got 2 that come to mind. One is a seller and one is a buyer. My big loser seller is the New York Rangers. I don't think they did nearly enough.
Yeah,
they sold Sam Carrick to Buffalo, and I don't remember what their return was, but it wasn't significant.
It was a 3 and a 6, I think.
Or even worse, a 3 and a 6. Right, they didn't get anything for Trocheck, which is
their big trade. A 3rd and a 6, yeah.
Yeah. They didn't get anything for Trocheck, who was a big trade piece, apparently.
Yeah, they didn't move anybody.
They didn't sell anyone else of significance. This is a team that needs to go in a rebuild. Like, they need it, like, not every single piece. Like, you want to keep, like, your Adam Foxes and your Igor Shesterkins of the world, but Trocheck should have been moved.
They had pieces to move at a time when it's good time to get draft picks, and that's what they need.
Yeah.
And they had pieces, and it's, this is at the deadline, that's what happens more often than not, right? Guys moving for draft picks And they didn't do that. And they had so many guys to move, and they're a shitty team, and they clearly got to be in a rebuild.
Did you think Gavrikov already potentially wants a change of scenery after his first year of the contract? Can you believe that?
Yeah,
I believe
it. Already reports he might want to change the scenery. He just signed that deal in the summer.
Can you blame him?
You guys hear me?
It's terrible.
I think it was lagging there for a second. But yes. And just in a big picture, like that, I think you could have sold Connor Sherry. There's another name you could have potentially got something for. Obviously, we mentioned Vincent Trocheck. Here's a guy I don't understand why we didn't hear more of. What about Jonathan Quick? 40. He could have maybe had one last cup run out.
But Trocheck, don't you think it's weird that nobody reached out for Trocheck? I mean, this is a guy that can help teams in the playoffs. I was really surprised. I thought he would for sure go.
I heard the
price. I don't know if Drury made the price too high.
Yeah. So then Drury, which we know he's an idiot, he fucked up because they should have done better. Yeah, so I think you're right. The Rangers were losers.
The Rangers were terrible as a seller. I'll give you a terrible buyer. Carolina. All you did was add Nicholas Delorier. That was literally the only fucking move they made.
That's true.
Was add D'Lo. I picked Carolina to win the East this year.
Yeah, they should have shored up
Tulski's on fraud watch. You want a friggin' GM that's on fraud watch? Tulski's on fraud watch. Because I don't know what we're doing here. You have a perfect opportunity to really put some distance between you and the schmucks in your division, because they're the only team of competence. And you sit on your hands and do nothing. Again, you could use another scorer, man. They've needed scoring help forever.
They should have moved KK. They should have tried. I mean, they probably did try, but they should have moved him.
Yeah, I heard Vancouver. Was it Vancouver? Oh man, it could be. I heard Vancouver had inches, but fine, nothing ended up happening.
Those are two teams that really disappoint. Like Nicholas Delorier is all you do. You had a fight, a 13th forward fight. That's your big acquisition. That's how you're going to make your push.
The thing I'll give on that is only thing. Montreal did nothing, but it's not that they didn't try, and they were really close. They almost got. I think they actually almost got Kadri. Why I don't know. That fell through, and they tried to get another deal. They actually had another deal, and it didn't make it in time. But so with Carolina, they might have been in on a bunch of different things, and it didn't work. That happens. But it doesn't mean that the GM didn't try.
If you're the GM, you got to make a splash.
I get it, but it doesn't mean they didn't try. Because I mean, I'm not going to come down on Kent Hughes that he didn't get a right shot defenseman to help shore up our defense right now, because the prices were really high, and he tried, but sometimes it doesn't work. And you look at the GM, go, why didn't you do anything? They tried. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that because I want to defend my GM.
Who was a loser for me? Sounds bad, but anyway. But I think Boston, like you're fighting for a playoff spot. Like you're right. Right now they have the second wild card position. They're 2 points. They're 2 points ahead of Columbus. Same amounts of games played. And you would think maybe just add something along the edges, maybe like just anything, like something just to give you.
They did. Didn't
they added what?
Lucas Reichel?
Yeah.
And what about Massimo Rizzo?
No.
You got a career AHL.
I'm just bugging. But okay, but think about it. I look at it kind of like this. What are their chances of doing much anyways in the playoffs? Do you really want to overpay for a chance to just get, to bow out in the first round anyway?
No, I'm not saying they should have spent a first round pick or whatever and get somebody like really overpay for somebody. But you have I know they had they had big interest in Connor Garland. Now Connor Garland went for a second and a third. And now Connor Garland is a guy that he's not a rental. He had term.
Yeah.
So he had like someone like that, maybe like what's it called? Detroit paid a fourth for David Perron. Now again, David Perron's not he's not what he used to be, but at least something like that, like a little like Michael Bunting went for a third, like something like that. I expected just something to give them a little extra, just to give them put something along the edges. Just like I'm not saying trade a first or a prospect or something, but like if you know that okay, prices are too high, we're not gonna get Trocheck, we're not gonna get him or like any big name, but let's just give our group a little something, So that's why for me, like you're fighting for a playoff spot, man. Like and look, Columbus ended up getting Garland, so they get a little more firepower, So now I know, like probably, I don't know if it's like playoffs are bust for Boston. Like I don't know if that's like, but the playoffs should be their goal at the end of the day, So any little bit could have helped. So for me, that
I mean they're in a wild card spot, so you got to figure you would try. Yeah, but I mean it's Don Sweeney, so I'm not surprised.
yeah. Yeah, so that's it. So for me, it's them, and I expected Nashville maybe to sell off a little more than they did, but then again, them too, they're kind of in a spot where they're chasing for a playoff spot also. So,
but Nashville was kind of in that no man's land. We didn't know if they didn't know they were going to be buyers or something. Well, people didn't know, and it turned out they were going to be sellers.
They were significant sellers. That's another winner I wanted to mention, by the way. I like what Nashville did. They sold off some pieces. They got some legitimate value for the players that they sold. They made, 4 trades, I think?
3. I know about 3, maybe 4, but 3 I know
I think they made 4.
I'll find out right now. I know they made the Bunting trade, the McCarron trade. After that,
there was another one.
They had they sold off a defenseman too, if I remember correctly.
Cole Smith.
Yep, it was one.
Yeah,
other
that's right,
player.
Cole Smith.
And Nick Blankenberg.
Blankenberg's the other guy I was missing. Okay,
there you go.
I knew they had 4 trades, but good on them. They sold. They stood to that direction. They built up some prospects and draft capital. That's what you need to do. Yeah. They got rid of some people. That's another winner. Good on Nashville. They did their job as a seller.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. They sold some smaller pieces.
Like a small W winner.
Yeah. And like, look, even like Toronto, well, they got a third, and that could become a second for Scott Laughton. So I don't know.
But they gave up a first to get him for 1 season.
Yeah, banking. So
yeah.
They were able to get a first for Nicolas Roy. They got a second. This one was a bit surprised. A second and a fourth for Bobby McMahon. I thought he'd get you maybe a conditional first.
Yeah, I thought Bobby McMahon would get more. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Or at least a prospect, like someone that's maybe like close to NHL ready, and a later round pick. So I don't know, unless there's something I'm not seeing, that maybe the market wasn't as big for like Bobby McMahon. Now, like, look, he's not an all-star, Bobby McMahon, but like he does put up some points, and he's a big body, and
he can help you. Yeah, he can help.
Yeah, that's why a second and a fourth. I was a bit shocked by that price.
It's Toronto. I'm not
more. And I thought Toronto had a couple other pieces that they could have sold off. Now, again, like you look at everything that did happen, so there was a lot of inactivity pretty much the day of. So I don't know if just the market just wasn't there at all. So I don't know.
The market. Well, who wants Toronto Maple Leaf players anyway?
I don't know, but like,
just joking.
Well, I don't know how interested they were to get rid of them, but like I heard there was a market for a couple of defensemen. Like I know OEL, they were asking for a first and a second. That's what I heard the price was.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody bid. Carlo, I heard his name was out there. I guess
name was out there. I didn't hear what they were asking for him, but the name was definitely out there. Montreal was mentioned for Carlo.
Yeah, and McCabe too. I heard McCabe's name was out there also. So I guess you know what, especially with someone like Carlo, I'm assuming like the price, especially that they paid for him last year, and if they would have had to give him away this year, like, ooh.
Yeah, makes
so
sense for Toronto.
I'm assuming,
Not many things make sense for Toronto.
No,
and I don't know. Oh fuck, man, where did I hear this? But I don't know. I read this somewhere now. It could be just all bullshit, but I heard that True Living's leash is getting short.
I have heard that.
Is that a
Freeman
surprise?
actually said that. He's been hearing it.
Is that a surprise? I mean, you hired an
They should extend him, please.
Well, yeah, that would be a Toronto thing to do.
Although, like in a little bit of his defense, I think though he was kind of like when he took over, it was already a bit of a mess. Like if those rumors were true about Shanahan, that was really cuffing Dubas, because you look at what Dubas is doing right now in Pittsburgh, and
he was doing this in Calgary too. He's a bad GM. It's a bit of both, but he's a bad GM.
He's definitely on the bottom end of GM.
He's in the bottom 5, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those deals he made last deadline for Carlo and Lawton, ugh.
And it may have been a bit of a mess last year, but it's worse.
That's worse now.
Like he's made it worse. He didn't make it better.
Rick,
at all.
I don't know if you know this. I brought this up to Eric on Flyer, but if the Toronto Maple Leafs end up in the top 5 this year somehow, they have to give up both of their first-round picks the next 2 years unprotected.
Yeah, awesome. That makes that's typical Toronto.
I am rooting for them to lose, because if they move in to anywhere in the top 5, let them have a top 5 pick this year, fine. But next year, we pretty much have their pick unprotected in 2027, and Boston would have their pick unprotected in 2028.
Yeah. And who's at fault for that when you say Dubas was a good GM? Wasn't it him?
No, that was Tree Living.
It was Tree Living? Okay.
Yeah, because both those picks were last year at the deadline.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because that was one was the Lawton trade and the other one was a Carlo trade.
Right. No, you're right. I remember now.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's why in a way I'm surprised. Like now, again, like I said, it could be just because there was so much inactivity. So I honestly expected Toronto to do something pretty much like Boston did last year. To try and kind of like retool and gain some assets at the deadline. So. But all they ended up getting was really like a first, and even the first, I don't even think it's this year. It's
because they're too stubborn to fucking admit that they're not making the playoffs, and it isn't going to get better like next year. And then after that, isn't Matthews' contract up after that or something? It's coming up soon.
Matthews signed 5 years, I think, last year.
Last year or the year before?
Well, he has. I'm assuming he has at least 3 more years on his contract.
That's what I figure about. Yeah, so 2 or 3 anyway. So yeah, but he's not re-signing.
But there was also again, I don't know. Actually, he has 2 more years after this.
Right.
2 more years. Yeah.
Never fear, everyone. The summer of 28 will be exciting for all until everyone's re-signed again.
Yeah. Well, again, there was also something I read. Also, was that apparently Toronto might have a conversation with Matthews in the offseason.
I have heard that.
If they're smart, they move him. You ask me.
But if they move Matthews, then at that point you're just blowing.
Then they're in full scale, but they have no first. I lied. They have Colorado's first-round pick.
Yeah,
if they end in the top 5.
Yeah, but you move Matthews, you're going to get a lot. You move Nylander, you're going to get a lot. They got pieces to get to restart a rebuild and get some draft capital back. Don't you think?
Yeah. They do.
Yeah. Yeah, they have. They have. They have the pieces. Like, if they trade Matthews, they'll get a haul. Like, they should get like a pretty good return for him. If they do trade Nylander,
Riley.
I heard there's like 0 market for Riley.
Zero. I'm not. Yeah, that makes sense actually. They should have moved him a couple of years ago when there was a market for him.
Like it's a couple years down the road that he's really struggling, and even though like he's not making that much, 7.5, but like the way he's slowing down, and he is 32 years old.
I didn't realize he's that old, actually. To be honest,
Riley's been there for a long time. I think he was there before everybody. Like he was one of the first. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
They missed the market on him. They should have moved him when there was a market.
Yeah. Honestly, I think they should have moved Nylander a few years ago. Like I think that was one of their biggest mistakes. They should have kept Marner, traded Nylander for what they were missing.
I wonder what market is left for Nylander after he gave the finger to the camera. Did you see that?
Yeah, but I think I just blew over.
Oh, I don't know. It blew over, but GM's got to look at that and go, that's not an attitude you want from a guy you're going to pay that kind of money to.
Yeah, but then they see his skill and they see what he does on defense.
But then you got to look at their record, Toronto, and like, I don't know. To me, that's got to bring their market down, but I guess not.
Yeah, but also the record is, and like I said at the beginning of the season, like when we were doing our preview, yeah, it's nice you have like Nylander, Matthews, whatever. Who's playing behind them? They have no depth. They have nothing.
It's a horribly built team.
Zero, nada.
So, like,
yeah. It's how many more years? They're already at 59 years without winning a cup. They're gonna go for another 10.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah,
like, especially if they do somehow end up blowing this up and trying to like retool it, whatever.
Yeah, they should. But that's the thing. They shouldn't wait. They should blow it up now and rebuild, or it's going to be 10 years before they even have a shot.
Yeah, they're gonna be an interesting team to watch this offseason. That's 100% sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Good comedy.
Yeah, so that's it. So that's winners and losers, and now let's go to power shift. I want to get you guys' opinion on after the deadline. If you saw any shift in power, like who do you think maybe wasn't a contender before and now slowly creeping up to be a contender?
I want to say Buffalo, but Buffalo was kind of doing that already. So
yeah. I don't think anything really changed on Buffalo. It's just been full speed ahead for that team. I'll give you a team I think that took a step in the right direction to at least get into the playoffs. I wouldn't say become a contender, but I think Columbus is going to get in. I don't know if they take Boston or Pittsburgh spot, but they're going to take one of the two and get in.
Probably going to be Pittsburgh.
I like what they did. Adding Connor Garland was a good add. They needed some scoring winger. I know Garland's had a little bit of a rough year, but he got a goal today. Columbus managed a point, so
yeah, and they're not so far behind in points that you can go look at. It's going to be hard to make up. It's only a few points. They could.
I think they're only 2 points back now.
Yeah, it's just a few points.
They're 2 points behind Boston, and they're 4 points behind Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
they're 3 behind the Isles too. But I don't think the Isles are going to fall out. But Pittsburgh's a team, even though they won yesterday. Whatever. I still don't believe in Pittsburgh. I still believe they might fall out of the playoffs. If Boston crapped their pants yesterday, they'd be 2 points behind them right now. But Boston defecated all over themselves against the Pens. So here we
are. Yeah, honestly, well, for me, like, I can't say that they improved their odds, but like obviously Colorado, like they're already the cream of the crop.
Power. They're already at power. There's no shit.
Exactly. So I think they just basically solidified because they were going through a bit of a rough stretch there before the deadline. So, like it probably wasn't going to happen, but like Dallas was kind of creeping up behind them for like maybe first. Probably wasn't never going to happen, but now I think they really solidified their spot. I think I know they only made one move, but Anaheim. Honestly, I think they become the team to beat in the Pacific. Like, look, now they overtook Vegas for first in the division, which honestly I don't understand how Vegas will. Well, I understand how because the rest of the team.
Yeah, we know how.
Like, the West is just so goddamn bad this year. That you know what? That's another team though. Vegas. Are you guys sorry, off topic, but just quick, and something that actually popped in my head. Vegas didn't. Their goaltending has been killing them this fucking year, killing them.
That and the inability to win in overtime.
And they didn't address, and no goalies at all moved. So I don't know, man. Vegas not doing anything. I think that, and I guess maybe because their division is just god awful, so they didn't feel like they had to. But just them not doing anything also was kind of weird.
And they wasted Mark Stone on the LTIR. Like that's even crazy.
Well, no, it's just regular IR. He's on LT. He's on.
Oh, I
LTIR.
thought it was LTIR. I heard that he was on. No, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't think he's gonna be out for that long.
Yeah, it's a real injury this time, and you can't circumventilate the cap like before. So
no, that's true. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any. I don't know if there's any real power shifts.
The closest thing I can think of is Columbus. Maybe Minnesota got somewhat better. But
again,
no one
I mean,
else.
they were
Maybe the Isles a little bit. You add Braden Shen, you get some leadership, but he's only been like a 40-point pace this year. So can you even say that? I really, outside of maybe Columbus and Minnesota, can anyone really say any of these teams took a decent step forward from the team that they had? Not really.
No, not from this deadline.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened.
I mean, Detroit added Justin Falk, but friggin' Dylan Larkin's already hurt, so that over-negated it.
That's a good point because maybe there would have been, but there's been a couple of injuries that kind of negated some of the moves that were made, I think. So yeah, those things happen.
Yeah, and that's it.
But even then, I don't know if there weren't any of those kind of moves that really, you could say, really shifted the power in their division or whatever,
Yeah, and like we said earlier, like probably the best player that got moved ended up going to the best team in the league. So you're like, wow.
Well, there you go, right? So that's not a power shift because they already had the power. So yeah, and if there were a few others like that, then maybe. But again, I don't think anybody really moved that would shift power to a team like that, except for Kadri. Kadri was the only one of that kind of caliber.
Yeah, because the only other one that kind of a little bit comes to mind would be like Mackenzie Weegar going to Utah.
Yeah, I was just looking at that actually. Yeah, you could say, but again, I mean, it's not like it's Makar going somewhere, like that, or when Quinn Hughes went over to Minnesota. It's not the same,
But Mackenzie Weegar is a pretty good defenseman. So
he's a good defenseman. I'm not taking that away, but I'm just saying it's not, I think that's how I see it. And then maybe if they would have got, a couple other players like Dallas, that's all they did, right? Was it Dallas? No, who got Weegar? Utah. But again, Utah, that was their only big move, right? Wasn't it their only move?
Yeah, pretty much. Anything at least anything of significance there.
So, like, if they got, say, they got Kadri too, like, then you're going, okay, now that's a bit of a shift, right? But again, it didn't. That's not what happened.
But also, then also you have to take into account that Utah is actually also in the Central Division, so it's
but it doesn't matter if it shoots them. Oh, right, it's not gonna. Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
They're literally 13 points behind Minnesota. No, sorry, not 13.
I forgot what division.
13. Yeah, you're right, 13.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait, hold on a second.
When I said before, like making up 2-4 points, you can do that now, but you got to make up 13 points, like to catch another team. Not happening with 20 games. Not happening with 20 games.
Oh man, yeah. So I think that's it. Yeah, I think it just stays the same. Like honestly, I think everything just stays the same. I can't see anything that happened that really makes anybody that much better. Even if you want to say, like, did someone get that much worse that maybe they could fall off and get a better draft pick?
Not really.
St. Louis, maybe.
You can make it
already fourth. I think they could slide into.
But I mean, they were already out of the playoffs, so it's not.
Well, you said slide, so I could see St. Louis dropping maybe all the way to second now. I don't think no one's going to catch Vancouver. They're the poop of the poop.
I know, but I think we're not talking about the bottom teams here. We're talking about anybody sliding that's already in a playoff spot that might slide out because.
I could see Boston.
Yeah,
Boston, where they are.
Not because of the moves they made, though. Maybe the lack of moves.
Yeah, That's my point. You heard Cam on the stream. He was screaming for a right shot defenseman.
Yeah, no, I know.
They don't have one. Now they're going to be getting James Higgins probably in like 2 weeks. But where they are right now,
I wanted Montreal to do that, but it looks like we're going to get Reinbacher coming up. He's ready.
He's healthy? Oh, he's been playing.
Yeah, he's out right now, but it's an illness. It's not an injury.
Oh, okay.
And apparently he's ready. He's ready to go. So
when are you guys calling him up is a question?
I have no idea, but apparently he's ready to be called up. Considering the defense problems we're having, it might be a good idea. And in Laval, they play the same system we do, so he shouldn't have a problem that way. So yeah, but yeah, so yeah, I don't think anybody did enough to make a difference. It was just one of those deadlines.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I don't know. It's nothing. Yeah. Nothing really of significant happened to like really. I don't know. Yeah, I'm at a loss for words because the deadline was
this whole freaking deadline was such a bore. It's hard to find much to talk about.
But that's what it is, right? Not enough happened.
We had a 10-minute crap fest on the Leafs like we always do, and they didn't really do anything besides sell Nicholas Watt.
I'm just trying to see what's the condition on this year's pick for the Leafs. Is it top 10 protected or is it top 5 protected?
I think it's top 10 protected.
Okay.
That one, I believe, is top 10 protected.
That's what I'm trying to figure out because right now the Leafs would be picking, if it goes by order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. They would have the 8th overall pick.
3 more spots, Eric. 3 more.
It could happen.
There's 6 points. They're at 65. St. Louis is at 59. But now you look like St. Louis got worse. Calgary got worse. Chicago technically
actually,
got a
if you
worse.
go by points percentage, they're tied for 7th right now.
Yeah, you're right. They are tied for 7th. So, like, I could see them fall to 7, maybe 6. I don't see them falling in the top 5, though.
If we get them to 6, oh my God, that's a dream for the Bruins. But then we need the NHL to step in and rig the lottery for the Leafs. Rig the lottery for the Leafs.
What do you mean?
So they get the first overall?
Let them get the top 2, and then we get their first round pick unprotected next year.
Oh.
Not showing me the details.
I don't want them to get a player from like that high up. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Let them get 5 then. That's what I really want. Let them fall to 5. That Leafs team looks like it's quit. So we'll see.
I'm trying to see the exact if they finish in the
I prefer they finish just outside the playoffs. That way they don't get a good pick at all.
No, that ain't happening. They're going to be very
Yeah, they're not gonna come back up. That's for sure. Anyway, we play them on Tuesday, so that should be fun. I don't even know who's in nets anymore for them. Who are their goalies right now?
Who, Toronto?
Yeah, like who's healthy? I don't even know who's playing.
I think Wool and Stolars are still. I think
are they? Is it Wool and Stolars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second game of 7 that they play against teams currently in a playoff spot. Throwing that out there with the Leafs too. So I could see them really fall back more. I do.
Could happen. Look, like they did get rid of a couple guys that were actually producing for them. So like McMahon was producing for them. Lawton actually was producing for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but who knows? But now the call up, like I think Easton Cowan now is going to play full time, so he might give them a little bit of a bump. But who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
Time will tell.
Okay, so I guess look, I don't know what I'll say about this stupid deadline. It was so fucking bad.
There's nothing left.
So
like the deadline we ran out. There's not very
it was the deadline.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? One last thing. Again, I don't think it should really change much. But if you want to change from what you said from the beginning of the season, what's your Stanley Cup matchup as of like today?
I'm gonna keep it the same. I originally said Colorado over Carolina when we did our episode. I'm going to stick with Colorado over Carolina. And that pick looks really good right now. So I'm hammering in. I got Colorado beating. I don't even know who they're going to beat out of the Pacific, because that whole division fucking sucks outside of Anaheim. So, but I don't want to say Anaheim because I'll be pissed that Cutter Gauthier got that far. You know what? Utah goes on a run. They end up playing Utah in the conference final and sweep Utah. It'll be Colorado over Utah in 4. And in the East, I'll say Carolina over Tampa in 7.
Okay, Rick, what do you got?
I got Colorado Buffalo for the final.
Wow.
And my hot take is Buffalo is going to win the cup.
He is on the Buffalo bandwagon.
Listen, I definitely
Sabre fans deserve this. That is the only organization, I think, in recent memory that has suffered more than we have is the Buffalo Sabres. They deserve this.
You don't see the run. What they're doing right now, you don't see that often, So I don't know. I'm just figuring it's like St. Louis in 2019. This is a Cinderella team. They're going to win. That's it.
And all it took was firing Kevin Adams.
Yeah, really.
That's all it took.
What a bad take. But when you consider the bad takes we had on Buffalo and on the coach, who I like, and look what the results at the end, near the end of the season is crazy. So, yeah, I think Buffalo and Colorado for the cup.
But you know what? It's something I always said with the Sabres. If they could just put it all, once it's all just going to click, watch out, because it
was going to happen. Like it was almost going to happen, right? It's just a matter of which year. I thought it was last year, but it's this year.
Same.
It's this year.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna go with Colorado and Tampa. Actually,
Corey Perry losing again, or are you gonna have Tampa win?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Honestly, that is a tough one. Does he do it? Maybe. You know what? Maybe Corey Perry does it. Corey Perry finally goes. Like fourth. What? It would be the fourth, right? Fourth time's a charm.
I think. I'm not sure how many now, but yeah, Corey Perry with that Stanley Cup final appearance.
Yeah, so. At least, they got Corey Perry, so it definitely guarantees them a spot in the finals. So they're
kind of like it has been lately, but I don't think this year. Honestly, I think Buffalo, yeah. Buffalo, They didn't destroy Tampa last night, but man, what was 8-7?
8-7.
What a crazy game that was.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can hold
that
their
was
own.
Maybe game of the year.
Yeah, and they can hold their own in a high scoring game.
Yeah. They can beat you any way they want.
It seems like they can. It seems like they can. So yeah, I know that's where I'm going.
Honestly, I would love it if they same like Alex said. Like honestly, Buffalo deserves it. The city deserves it. The team deserves it. All the shit that they've been going through the past few years with terrible management and everything and ownership and whatever. They're like finally everything is starting to pay off for them. So hopefully they can keep it up. Hopefully they could. Keep this thing going because, like myself too, like I've ripped in them for certain stupidities that they've done, and it's like now it's all coming together for them. And you know what? I hope the best for Buffalo. All right, boys.
Well, before we go, there's a late trade that just happened. Then they're allowing it. Montreal Canadiens. They sent Sam Montembeault to the beer league, and we get David Ayers.
That seems like a fair trade.
That's a good one, though, eh?
You actually got me for a second.
I know. I saw your reaction.
I'm like, what?
Good quality. Good quality for quality. That's
yeah.
That's quite well. Quite well. All right. So, Rick, Alex, any final thoughts before we head out?
Fire Rick Tocchet.
Oh yeah, we're getting pounded right now by the Rangers.
Yeah, fire Rick Tocchet. That's my quote. I don't want that asshole back here next year. I'll keep it at that.
Yeah, that and also I second that. Again, like me and like I got you'll probably be listening to this like later on, like in a couple days from now, but like just so stupid. Sorry, like a little flyer, but like so stupid. Like, why is Dan Vladar playing a 5th straight game? Like, come on, like
why did you keep him in there until the 6th goal happened? Like, I could go on.
Like this was the perfect, like this was the Urson game. This was like give Urson the
Perfect
start.
Urson
Like,
game,
in the
give him a
Rangers.
rest.
It's terrible. Give Vladar a rest. Like what the hell are you doing? Anyway, all right. So Rick, anything?
Nope.
Nope.
That was it. Well, okay. Call up Reinbacher and Fowler. That's what I want.
Gosh, oh yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Nice and simple from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good for Montreal. All right, so like usual, guys, everybody, thanks for the support. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. Every like, subscribe, follow helps. Our drive to 500 help us get monetized. Try and produce content for you guys as much as we can. And yeah, so for Alex, for Rick, for Eric, myself, guys, great hockey and a good day or night.
Ciao, everybody.
Ciao.
Promise you you'll catch me.